You are witnessing an exclusive episode and interview with your boy Ty Finney, aka the Legend. I got a special guest in the building, Coach Ralph Nichols. Ralph, what's going on with you, man?
Hey, legend, it's good. It's good. It's all good.
That's what's up, man. Hey, before we get started, man, I just want to thank you, for reaching out to me and giving me this opportunity, to interview you. You are the very first coach, to come on my podcast. I had other guys who got their own podcasts, and I also had boxers, come on my podcast. So you are the very first, coach to reach out to me and do an interview.
Well, legend, that's an honor, man. It's an honor for you to even have me on your show. It's an honor. It's a privilege, and I'm humbled to take advantage of letting the world know what we're doing in this part of our region, in our community right here in Salisbury, Maryland. With all our great young fighters behind me, you can see them. I wanted to be a part of this historical event because, guys, this is our first time, his first time to allow us to be on his podcast. We want to say thank you to the legend.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that for sure. So, what's going on in the gym tonight?
Well, right today we was doing our strength conditioning today. We have certain days that we do certain things here. Where's Marcio? Here's little Marcio. And Marcio, what do we do during the week, Marcio?
During the week, we do strength condition, back work, treadmill, shadow boxing, and yeah.
How's the experience?
It's good. You learn a lot of things.
That's what's up, man. Keep it up, young man.
You got it. And then we got Jayla, our female. Where you at, Jayla? Come on over here, Jayla. That's Jayla. Tell me your age and anything.
My name is Jayla Johnson, and I'm 12.
Yeah. It's good. It's good, to have females in the gym. We had a nice card of females last weekend.
Yeah, well, we've been blessed to have her as the only female in our group. So she's like the queen fighter around here. To get her first fight, I'm excited to get her career going as much as she is, So I'm looking for great things from Jayla. I'm looking for great things from Marcio. And I got another gentleman here who's getting ready to fight next Saturday, the 29th. We have that fight card. I know we're pushing a little bit, but I just want you to introduce before we get into any conversation. Here's Orlando. Come on over here, Orlando. Tell me your age.
Orlando?
You got to talk loud so you can hear you.
My name is Orlando, and I'm 16 years old.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
And then I have some newcomers that just came here, and I want you to introduce yourself. Come on over here, tell me your name and your age. That's Isaiah.
How old do you say he is?
He's 13 years old.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
Up and coming. Where's the other? Who's next? I got a little 8-year-old over here just came in. Where you at? Where you at? Tell him your name. They're the champ. Tell him your name.
You say he's 8?
Yeah, that's David. He's 8 years old. That's one of our youngest prodigies for the future of boxing because we do start them in at 8. They can compete at 8 years old in USA boxing. Thank you, man. Where's somebody else? I got somebody else. I got the oldest of those brothers, and here he is. There he is. Age, name, give it to him.
My name is Sean. I'm 16.
Nice to meet you, man.
And believe it or not, I got one more, and that's Dad right over here. Come on over here, Dad. It's always good to show Dad. Those were his 3 sons there, and he just brought them and to compete in the USA boxing event. So it's exciting to have him come through and believing in the program. So this is a witness right here as a parent, and those were his 3 sons you just were introduced to.
All right, what's going on, man?
Hey, fine. How you doing?
Fine. Yeah.
I get everybody's camera shot, legend.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna start from the bottom, man. Like, how did you first get into boxing? Like, what made you become an amateur coach?
Well, boxing started with me when I was 12, 13, 14 years old. And believe it or not, it was a rough up road battle because my dad was a preacher. And my dad wasn't about the boxing world at that time in my day and age. So I would jog down the street around the house, and he thought I was just jogging to jog, but I was jogging because I snuck to the gym. And my coach told me that I had to do road work. So I would run around the neighborhood, and as time went on, I went on to the Golden Gloves, and believe it or not, I had two amateur fights in my career with USA Boxing. I won one and lost one, and I didn't lose it by any mere thing. I took off too much weight that night, and I felt too lightheaded, and I couldn't perform the way I needed to that night. But again, with that all being said, those years of experience had started me in the game of boxing to decide what area that I wanted to branch out in and what I wanted to do. So I came out of the ring game and I got into the boxing managerial side of it, where down the road I had pro fighters in my career, worked with pros, been on the set with that, continued on. I was like, I got to find my niche. And I said, officiating is my key. So right now, as we speak, to make a long story short, I worked my way as a USA Boxing National Level 2 official right now, working on my Level 3s. That's where I am today with boxing. To give you the short version, legend, give you the short version. And again, I'll say this, a lot of people say, oh, they think that a coach has to be so well performed as a fighter. And I know great coaches out there who were fighters, but they're not great trainers. It's a difference. Totally different. I'm not going to get politically into that. Why I'm saying that? Because I stand on the shoulders like Customata. He had 2 fights in his career. One was an amateur, one was a street fight. He broke his wrist because he was going to turn pro. And look up, I'm not going to tell you, look up who he trained and became world-class champions. Okay? Let's look at Angelo Dundee. He was the water guy. Let's talk about it. I stand on the shoulders of great leaders who never fought, some did, some didn't, and look how they performed in training and teaching the science of boxing. There's no big history book on this. There's no playbook on this. It's all fundamental. It's all basic. It's all understanding. And it's all spirit. That's what it is. It's spirit. So I bring the boxing spirit to the Hard Hustle Boxing Club. And when I bring that spirit to the club, it spills over into the fighter. If I don't come with the right spirit, how's it going to spill over into the club? So the name came up. I was sitting on the living room couch one day. My son, he's 21 years old now. He's our city champion, Montre Don Rajon. And he looked at me and I looked at him on the couch. And I said, he knew I was training and he knew the rule. And I looked at him. I said, go upstairs and tell your mother. That's when he took on and he wanted to start training. So he was my first prodigy, my real prodigy to really mold my way of thinking of boxing, my skill work, how I think about angles, horizontal, perpendiculars, ups and downs, movement. And I put that into my son, who became the city champion today. And not only that, I have these few fighters that I just showed you. Mm-hmm. This is all work from ground level up. These are pups. They don't know anything about boxing, but I would tell you, pay attention to all of them. You will see the hard hustle boxing style come out into the community the way I see boxing, to train these guys to be the best fighters in the world.
That's what's up, man. And you already answered a few questions that I haven't even asked you yet. Yeah. So I was going to ask you about, amateur. So you was an amateur fighter.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. I got hit. I did a lot of sparring. I would do an average of about maybe 25 rounds a week. That's how much I enjoyed boxing as a young kid growing up. It was almost like a bodybuilder was just a gym rat. I became a gym rat in boxing. I just hung around the greats and hung around the older guys, knowing that I wasn't supposed to be there because Daddy said no boxing, but I was there anyway. And here I am today. God rest my dad's soul. He's seen me become who I am today in boxing, and he would always smile. He would always smile and be happy, from the outcome of it all, that it turned out to be good. Before he passed away 6 years ago, he's seen this program come into existence. Okay. And it was a good thing that he saw my passion and what I wanted to do in life with boxing. So I bring it to Salisbury, Maryland, to this community, not to be anybody great, but to be a humble servant to the people, to be a servant to these kids, because in a lot of the communities, we don't have anything for these kids and these young women and these young kids to do. And we have to find and develop things to do. So I'm only using my niche and what God has given me the gift to do. No more better than a preacher who preaches every Sunday. I tell them, you get them on Sunday, we get them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday. And you get them back Sunday again. So we are ministers in all that we do. Even what you do, you're ministering to the outlet of the media world to introduce persons like myself to the world. And I appreciate you for that in your ministry.
Facts, man, facts. Thank you. Yeah, so I was going to ask you another question. You mentioned your son. So what's your son's current status?
Well, right now, my son, I'm very proud of him. He's a senior at Bowie State University.
Okay.
He's working towards his college, and it was a toss up in the balance between that and boxing. He's
Mm-hmm.
young. He just turned 21 years old, and time has went by so fast. I remember sitting on the couch. Now he's a senior at Bowie State University. Unbelievable. But he works out with the likings of the No Excuse Boxing with Coach Roach, Lamont Roach up there in Capitol Heights, Maryland. He goes up there and train, and when he comes home, he trains. He's in training now. He comes out and helps the young folks that you just saw with the mitt work. He's always pitching in when I need him. When we're doing these different shows and outlets, he's there to support. And I commend Montre to Don Ray John for being part of the community in the Hard Hustle Boxing program.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Big ups to your son. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
now it's real good. It's real good. To have a backup plan. For in boxing, like we can take, for example, Seth Mitchell, who's from Maryland. I understand that he, even though he doesn't box anymore, I know he's got like a criminal justice degree. So it's real good, to have a backup plan. If boxing didn't work out. So have you worked with like any big names or work with any big names as far as like trainer or anything like that? Because I know you travel. I know you travel. I know you ref. I know you judge. I know you do it all. So tell us some of your experiences, like as far as you're traveling or maybe working with a big name or anything like that.
Well, when we're talking about the amateur side, I say to the world, those are big names because those names become our future. And we build those diamonds and we mold those diamonds and we cut them and we till they become so pretty and they become priceless. I worked alongside in the pro world and I wanted a better understanding leading the young fighters into this world. So I had to, I worked backwards. I took on the pro world and I worked alongside with some great coaches and traveling. And then I weeded myself away from that world because it gets very complicated living out of a suitcase when you got families and children. So I backed off of it a little bit. My last fighter was Nigel Fennell, Nasty Nigel, who's boxing great today. And those first 6 fights, those wins was up under me and Coach DeMonch Tulich. And now he's out there doing his thing. His record is flying high. But I can stay claiming the earth if we make it to the top. Those 6 knockouts was my work. Those 6 knockouts were our work, Coach DeMont Giddens and myself. And we sure have one guy out there still fighting today. So I turn all of that over now, that energy over to the amateur side. This is where I feel that the energy needs to be given back to the young people because we can weed ourselves out of the game and forget about them and where the future of boxing is going to go. But we have to pour it back into our community and we have to give back more into what? Contributions, donations. And boxing seems to be always the last thing on the list for somebody to give something to. And I tell them, the simplest thing you can give us, and we're appreciative, is bags of water. You can always bring bags of water to the gym because we drink a lot of that. And sometimes I say $20 goes a very long way when you think it doesn't. Well, if everybody gave $20 a piece, it does go a long way because equipment and stuff costs us. And you need the equipment, the headgear, and the different things of those things nature for our young people. When you got an older person, the reverse of that is a lot of these guys get contracts, they get stipend checks, they got jobs. Some don't, not all of them, but I'm just saying they're adults and they know what to do to maneuver through the complications of boxing. Well, these young folk don't know any of that. So therefore, you turn back and we have to teach them what this real road is. And the road is what? Determination. All right? Mm-hmm. And like Floyd Mayweather said, hard work and determination. Right. I don't care anything you do. Hard work, dedication. I say hard work, determination.
Right.
That's why.
Hard work, dedication, right? Determination, facts, man, facts. Yeah.
Exactly.
So tell us like your very first amateur card you put together. Like, tell us about that and like how was it? How was the experience putting it together? I know it's stressful, but you did it. You did it, and you brought a lot of people out. It was a great night of boxing. So tell us about the experience. Was it
2019? 2019 was something out of this world.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know that month of April is my born day. That weekend was my born day, and I didn't make no big deal about it. But I tell you, it was a phenomenal show. It was in 2019, and I tell you, everyone came out to support. Then we went into the pandemic. See, and it changed everything. And just remember, we came out of the pandemic pretty much this year in March of 2022, going into April, which I did my second show this year, April the 16th. Getting the people acclimated to coming back out was a challenge because you can actually watch television and see how the different rooms. For example, I always watch The Price is Right and Let's Make a Deal. I can pretty much tell how the people are coming out, how the show was. They still had the people in that mode of safety first and masks. So again, people was in a different nostalgic mindset. I don't think I'm going to come out. Even though the chairs, I made the room accommodating, but USA Boxing did a great job on telling us as officials, as coaches, as gym owners, what to do if we were going to do show. And we did and followed the guidelines coming out of the virus. So right now we're still in the building stage, coming back into it. I did another show September the 10th of this year. And you can actually see from that show, we grew from April of 2022. This show here is all stops. You can wear a mask. You don't have to wear a mask. You can sit close. You don't have to sit close because we turn on the TV and watch the football games. The stadiums are now packed out. People are going back to the theaters. People are coming out. But we still saying, hey, protect yourself at all times. And I say, as in the street, in boxing, keep your hands up at all times. If you want to, keep your mask on at all times. You're more than welcome to go to anywhere in the world now. If you want to put on a mask, put it on. If they say take it off, you can take it off. We have choices now. And that's the freedom that we have to bring boxing back into our auditoriums around the country.
Right. Yeah, I was there. I was there at your show, your first show. April 2019. Oh, wow. Yeah. You did your thing, man. You brought out the mayor. You brought out the director of the radio show. You brought some famous fighters in the building. So yeah, it was one hell of a show, man. Great show, man. And
Thank you.
You're still doing your thing. So tell us about your upcoming show next Saturday, right?
Yes, October 29th. You just saw Orlando. Orlando will be performing on that card, and you got little Marcio. He's going to be performing on that card. This is these guys' first fights. Okay. This is their first fights, and we have another gentleman. He's not here today. He did some sparring last night, so he might be a little exhausted. Lennox, he might be on the card, seeing how he feels. But again, this is on October 29th. We got 15 great bouts of boxing. Let me see one of the flyers. We got 15 great bouts of boxing. And when I tell you they're coming from Virginia, they're coming from North Carolina, they're coming from DC, they're coming from, did I say Virginia? They're coming from New Jersey. Okay, there's the flyer right there. I'm just going to poke it into your camera right quick.
Okay.
There it is right there. And the show is going to be next Saturday. And I'm looking for a tremendous turnout on this last fundraiser. And I forgot to mention why I say fundraiser, because Heart Hustle Boxing Clinic is now a 501(c) program. There's an actual active board we have that came together. We have 3 successful meetings so far, and I can't wait until we continue on our goals and what we have in mind for our community and for our youth here in our community and for the parents to believe in a strong, good, solid program for their youth.
Okay, yeah. So you got a lot of fighters traveling from a lot of states, to be on the card.
Yes, they're going. Right now, I matched up 30 bouts, and I'm only supposed to have 15.
Okay. Yeah.
My chief official, he said, "Ralph, come on, Ralph." I said, "Hey, it's what it is." I said, "Explosion," didn't I?
Right. Yeah. So, not to get off topic, man, but I'm not sure if you know, but we've been in the house in a lot of fights together. You know what I mean? I've seen you. I was there for your first show. I seen you in the Royal Farms Arena back in 2019 at Tanks. Tanks fight. Right. Yeah, yes. I've seen you in Hocus in Delaware at a fight up there.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, and I believe that was like 2018 or so.
With that being said, I'm true to my game.
Yeah. You everywhere, man. You everywhere.
So you're everywhere.
Yeah, I'm everywhere too. Yeah. So
keeping us alive on your podcast. Without you, this information wouldn't get out, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. So we, like I said, we've been in the house at a lot of fights together. So we've been doing this podcast for almost 20 minutes. So so man, like if you ever want to come on again, and we can chat boxing, we can chat about your cards.
We getting ready to get up on out of here. We leaving now.
Yeah. So hey man, before we close this one out, man, give us your social media. Where can we follow you at? What's your name on Facebook?
Oh, you can get me at it's hard. You got to get this one. You can get me at Kepha bin Al Yahuwah. It's KEPHA BANYAH. Kepha bin Al Yahuwah. And that's where I am. Or you can find Coach Ralph. I'll be there. It'll all pop up.
All right. Yeah, you can catch me on Instagram as the Legend 3347. I'm on Facebook as Todd Finney. And everybody, man, everybody. So definitely support Coach Ralph Nichols next card. October 29th. Be in the building, support. Show love so we can keep this movement going for Salisbury.
Yeah. So like we always say, we always sign everybody out. If this is the end of the cast, we're gonna ask all the hard hustle boxers. Who's gonna take us out here? Who's gonna take us out? All right, Marcio's gonna take us out. Everybody touch my head. Everybody hands in. Go ahead, Marcio.
1, 2, 3.
Hard hustle. 10 toes down. See you October 29th.
All right.
Be there.
All right. Peace. All right.